Oracle Team USA helmsman Jimmy Spithill on the left. Man with a 14 on his helmet, that is skipper and helmsman Dean Barker for Emirates Team New Zealand. Present time, the wind is 16.8, and about a half an hour ago, we were concerned about getting the first race in, let alone the second, as it was 22.6. But it has calmed down just a bit as we are now at 3 minutes to go before race number 17. The Kiwis at 8, the Americans at 6, New Zealand needs 1, the US needs 3.
And Oracle Team USA will come in from what we believe to be the favored side of the starting line, that port tack start that gets them into the starting box 10 seconds before Emirates Team New Zealand.
On board the defenders, Oracle Team USA will give you the best pictures and sound throughout the racing. And the same for Emirates Team New Zealand. We've got them covered from top to bottom.
That's a nice pressure.
Got us on time now. Here we go, full pace.
Here we go, Todd. I don't care what the afterguards say. There's butterflies churning in both of these boats right now. Gary, it's surprising the breeze has really kind of stopped a little bit. It was windy there for a while. This is much more in control for these boats, isn't it?
Well, it was over the limit there for a brief time, Ken, but the wind is good now. I expect a really good race.
Both boats now in the entry box, and the dance begins with 1:45 to go before the start.
With the strong flood tide, look for the boats to work for the windward end of the line. You get the puffs first, and you take advantage of the current.
90 seconds to the start.
Slightly early coming back to the line right now by James Spithill. Look for Emirates Team New Zealand to try to step up to weather. Their most success when they've won starts has been to weather of Oracle, which means closer to the wind on the high side, exactly where they're heading right now.
You are right on ley line here.
You're hearing the voice of Ben Ainsley, the 4-time Olympic gold medalist, the tactician for Oracle Team USA.
It's been 6 days, Todd, since Emirates Team New Zealand has won a race. The start is proving more crucial all the time.
Turning up here in 3, 2, 1, turning up hard now.
Very aggressive match racing move. What Emirates Team New Zealand will do now is try to block the wind of Oracle. Can Oracle get a last-minute hook underneath them? That's the big question.
New Zealand's got to kill 10 seconds. They're a little early.
Fix them up here, fix them up, fix them up. 7, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Right from behind, a last-second hook by Oracle. I'm really surprised
by
Team New
Oracle there,
Zealand set
Ken.
themselves up for that.
Protest by Oracle.
Pass head to wind here. We're way past head to wind.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they cross the line on time. The Americans immediately file the protest flag and a penalty to the Kiwis.
Penalty to New Zealand there, guys. They'll just have to simply slow down, however. And be
There's going to be contact here right now. Bang!
Jim on, guys. Don't let me lose the bow. Jim on. Here we go. Let's go.
Go hard the other way now. Hard now.
Idiots. Here we go. Nice work, Jimmy.
An absolutely disastrous start for Emirates Team New Zealand. They will now have to sit for 2 boat lengths.
Just get hit now, yeah.
So the penalty is now complete, and New Zealand has dug themselves a huge hole even before we get to mark number 1.
A last-second hook by Oracle. I'm really surprised Team New Zealand got so slow and so low there. They allowed the boat from behind to come in underneath, last-minute hook, and just hold them head to wind until there was a collision. I mean, the boat to weather is completely vulnerable in that situation.
At mark number 1, America has the lead. The Americans cross the mark 1, and the clock begins to run on the Kiwis.
Pressure all this way.
And handing Oracle Team USA with the momentum they have, an 18 seconds lead, Ken, on the first mark. Not good.
My goodness, I'm really surprised. We'll have to go watch that start again here in a minute, but that was really, I don't know. That's where nerves, I don't know. Something's going on in the head of Dean Barker right now.
Do you think Dean Barker thought that Jimmy Spithill was trying to go up to the top of the box and was just giving him a fake? Because it was clear once he made that turn that Spithill was going for the hook.
No, if he had stayed on the wind towards that weather end, I think he could have cleared out and not allowed Oracle to come in from behind, but he got so slow and actually came down towards the line a little bit. It kind of opened the door for Spithill to come in and completely, I mean, own the day, own the start in a big way.
And then there was apparent contact, so head umpire Mike Martin and his crew pretty much had to do the only thing they could, and that was assess a penalty to the Kiwis.
If we can get Mike Martin on live, we're going to try to do that, Todd, to see if there might have actually even been 2 penalties in that situation. It'll be interesting if we can get them. I'm sure they have a little bit on right now, just trying to sort out what happened in that pre-start.
So on leg number 2, the Kiwis have dug themselves a 400-meter hole. And Ken, we were watching out here prior to the start, and the Americans were just practicing, and they were traveling at over 50 miles an hour.
Something you'd never thought you'd say in a sailboat racing event. Now, what could go against the Americans at this stage? First of all, remember, they played their card. It's a windy day. Right. They played their breakdown card in the second race. They break, it's over, right? So that's one thing that's always in the back of every Oracle team supporter's mind is we don't have any buffer anymore. We have to get around. This thing has to stay in one piece for 2 races today, not just one.
We're glad to be joined now by the chief umpire, Mike Martin, of this 34th America's Cup. And Mike, take us back to the start, what you saw and why the penalty was assessed.
Yeah, what happened?
Nice, Jimmy. A little bit lighter, we'll build in. Happy to go straight in right like this.
Yeah, this is Mike Martin. What we saw at the start was USA was a leeward boat and established that overlap from behind. New Zealand was required to do everything they could to keep clear and didn't. And there was actually 2 penalties given, one for the initial and then one for not keeping clear after they crossed the starting line. So actually 2 penalties were assessed to New Zealand.
Yeah, Mike, 2 penalties, and obviously there was contact between the boats.
Yeah, definitely there was contact between the boats.
And Todd, here's the first penalty right now. What Mike is saying is the weather boat or New Zealand did not do enough to try to stay out of the way. They have to, you see him spin the boat here, but maybe not go quite, maybe he can go a little, see, he comes back. See the wheel coming back right now. That's always a telltale sign to the umpires that maybe you didn't do everything possible to stay out of the way of the other boat.
Meanwhile, back on course, our thanks to Mike Martin, chief umpire here at the America's Cup. The Americans make their way down very fast downwind leg as the wind has been blowing close to 20 knots. This will be a very quick race, and the Americans would love to get this one wrapped up quickly as they make the turn at mark number 2 with a sizable lead over the Kiwis.
Nice, keep going, keep going. Just need a little oil when you can. Setting up there. Stand by, boys.
Go backwards.
And the lead has grown, and this time the Kiwis will not split the course. They will follow Oracle Team USA going closer to shore, but they have dug themselves a 29-minute delay behind the Americans. And Ken, I guess one of the questions I would ask, without a situation to play that provisional card, contact and damage to the American boat, do you think that's something they have to look at?
I don't think so. I think you're just tapping the carbon fiber skins at that stage. Even if there's a puncture, unless there's some sort of lamination or delamination issue right around, let's say, where a shroud is or where that front beam is, then you might have something to look at it. But typically, a little tap like that isn't going to end your day.
So a delta of 29 seconds around mark number 2. The Kiwis now heading closer to shore, as are the Americans. We check in on the water once again with Gary. And which side of the course is a sweet spot, Jabo?
Well, the sweet spot is away from the middle of the course because the current's so strong. Todd, I'm sitting here watching this race thinking, if I'm on board New Zealand, how am I going to catch up here? Well, the first thing is to stay fast, don't give up. Things happen in sailboat races, and when you're way ahead like Oracle is right now, sometimes you throttle back and get conservative, saying we don't want to break anything, and that's where you have your opportunity. So this race is not over yet, and as you can see, New Zealand on the left is going pretty well.
And Ken, that picture says a lot, as the Kiwis on the left-hand side not quite foiling upwind, but clear foiling upwind by Oracle Team USA.
Yeah, close. You see the Kiwis coming in and out of the water sometimes. Both boats are really beginning to perfect this foiling upwind, especially when you want to get fast, a fast mode, let's say across a current line or towards the next puff. They're using moding, fast mode and high mode, much more effectively. You can see where Team USA is actually in that cone right now. Now they'll start going a little higher onto the wind, most likely. Just try to stay in that relief behind Alcatraz Island.
3, yeah, okay. 2.
You wonder how they're suddenly able to foil upwind more than we've ever seen. And they've been working on their systems to be able to get that foil exactly right in the water to give them the boat to lift. And what's impressive about this team is the wind limit is only about 12 knots to get them up in a foil. But at 16, they just take off and fly.
So on leg number 3 of 5, it's the Americans out in front by more than 200 meters. Can they maintain?
Really left-handers.
Ben Ainsley calling out the big left-hander. Americans traveling at 23.7 knots. The Kiwis at 26.5.
They're out of that relief. Remember, this is GPS speeds. This is speeds over the ground, which takes into account the current. They would be in the current relief right now. Therefore, they'd be registering probably higher speeds. As I say that, of course, Oracle gets up on their foils and starts screaming across the channel to get to the relief on the other side right now.
10 seconds. Standing by in 3, 2, 1.
And the Kiwis decide it's a good time to tack away from Alcatraz Island. On an absolute picture-perfect day for sailing in San Francisco, this is the 34th America's Cup. Right? Team New Zealand, 8 wins, needing just 1 more to claim the Cup. The Americans have 6, they need 3 more, and right now, it looks like race number 17 going clearly the way of the defenders, Oracle Team USA.
It's a little game to him there.
Activity down on the water. Oracle Team USA looking very good. Here come the Kiwis closing the gap. Now it's below 300 meters. Gary Jobson, as we spin it forward, if the Americans could hold on to this race and get the win and force a race 18, what does the weather look like later this afternoon?
I think the weather looks pretty good for a race this afternoon. The fact that it's died down here in the last half hour or so says that the wind should be good for another race. For New Zealand, they got to think about what they made, what their mistake was. Overly aggressive, didn't cut it. They've got to be a little better on the next start if they want to win it.
Wind limit for our second race today would be at 24.1 knots.
20 seconds.
These guys are going 30 knots upwind against the current. Again, they just seem to be going faster every day.
Here we go, guys. 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
Oh, I like this move by Oracle to go in and push really hard. Even though they're ahead, they're going to be very aggressive and keep working to push New Zealand back. Nice move.
Good pressure. You got this one. Really good pressure. Yeah, it's good here. Get it going. Yeah, keep doing what you're doing.
The difference you notice since American team has made the change with tacticians from John Kostecki to Ben Ainsley is there's a lot more communication between the three. Ainsley, Slingsby, and of course Jimmy Spithill.
Yeah, more chatter, more of a three-person team back there. There's no doubt about it that everybody has their own way of doing things. Really, John Kostecki, I think, was much more, it was more of a two-person afterguard with he and Jimmy Spithill, and Slingsby was there to kind of help or assist where needed. Where now, for sure, Ben Ainsley has brought in Tommy to be a major part of this afterguard, and it's clear in the communication that you can see that every single race.
Ken talking about the afterguard, the three men in the back, the driver of the boat, James Spithill. Tom Slingsby is now a strategist, an Olympic gold medal champion himself, and Ben Ainsley, Sir Ben Ainsley, a four-time Olympic gold medalist.
40 seconds to get to the lay line.
As we listen in with Emirates Team New Zealand.
It's going to be a bit of a drag race across here now. Both boats likely to stay on port tack and just fly, literally.
I'm looking upwind here, Ken, to see if the wind shifts to the right a little bit. That's the one thing that could help New Zealand out of this position. Wind going right, better course to the next mark.
20. Standing by. 3, 2, 1. Attacking. Nice pressure out of it.
Grant Dalton, the general manager of Emirates Team New Zealand at 56 years of age, doing his grinding work. And Ken, you crunched some of the numbers about these two teams, and there is a bit of an age difference as far as the average goes.
Yeah, almost 10 when Grant Dalton's on board, which he is on board for the first time in several races today, replacing Winston McFarlane. It's over a 10-year difference in average age between the two boats. Oracle considerably younger. Average age on Oracle 32. The youngest member of the Team New Zealand team is 32.
So are you postulating that possibly this long regatta is starting to wear down on the older Emirates Team New Zealand squad?
No, I'm not saying that. You're getting me in trouble, first of all. I'm going to get beat up by a bunch of Kiwis at the end of the day. No, not at all. Listen, also, you can make a good case that you lean on experience in tough times, right? And for sure, guys like, they keep talking about guys like Rob Waddell, who have been through major sporting experiences, gold medalist twice in rowing. You know, he's been through pressure situations before. Guys like him have to keep this unit intact, and I think he's doing that. They just got to get off the starting line one of these days.
Grant Dalton certainly has earned his way on the boat, and Ken, not trying to get you in trouble. I know you can do that on your own all by yourself, but this is now the longest America's Cup in history.
Well, he took himself, good for him. He's 56 years old. He's incredibly fit, first of all. We can't not say that he isn't unbelievably fit. But good for him. He took himself off the boat for a few races to give the younger, stronger Winston McFarlane a few races, especially in the lighter air when you have to jibe or get that code 0 working around.
And Winston McFarlane is an absolute beast as far as strength goes.
Oh, he's a monster. They're all monsters. They're all really fit. This is a game of athletics, of athletes like we haven't seen before in sailing.
Todd, you mentioned that this is the longest America's Cup in history. Actually, it's the 18th day, and in 1899, they went from October 3rd to October 20th between Columbia, the Defender, and Shamrock, the Challenger. So this actually ties it since 1899.
Going lighter here, watch it, don't chase it in this light stuff.
20.
Team New Zealand, they need Oracle to not actually make this gate right now. And they need all the help they can get. They need them to miss this gate and have to tack some more.
The lead is 215 meters as we bounce across to Oracle Team USA, the defenders of the Cup. On the back, there you see Ben Ainsley. He is the tactician, also required to do some grinding. And there's Tom Slingsby.
Left, early drive. Got stand by, 15 seconds in.
They're getting closer. I mean, New Zealand is plenty fast. Everybody keeps talking about New Zealand being slow. They're not slow.
10 seconds.
They just got to get off. It's a broken record, I know. They got to get off the starting line.
Here we go.
So once again, the Americans thrown in attack just before gate number 3.
I think if there's a silver lining here for New Zealand, they're sailing even speeds upwind.
And at gate number 3, like the past 5 days, it is Oracle Team USA that has the lead. The Kiwis now coming into the circle. Can they close the gap? Remember, they trailed by 26 seconds after mark number 2. And here they are at gate 3.
You're going to likely see Oracle roll into a fairly quick jibe here and get themselves offshore where it's been favored for the last 3 days.
So the lead is down to 19 seconds. The Kiwis have chopped off quite a bit from mark number 2, but the Americans are off and running. So the all-important leg number 4. It is a flood tide, and the wind is blowing right now at about 18 knots.
Nice guys, give it a go. Nice right-hander.
The one thing we know for certain is the Americans cannot clinch the America's Cup today. They need another day. The Kiwis, they've got 3 opportunities to get it done, but you know Dean Barker does not want to push this thing into another day. He wants to end this thing today.
You got to imagine that the pressure gets greater by the minute.
Set up. Yeah, setting up. Stand by, guys. Okay, Jimmy, whenever you're ready. Okay, Tommy? Yep. Forward, submit.
Back on the bay in San Francisco, Oracle Team USA has the lead. The Kiwis coming awfully fast. They've got a nice line here. They trail by 280 meters, but coming in very quickly, traveling at 41 knots.
As usual, they don't go away, but when you give the other guy a jump, I mean, just bad things happen right out of the blocks. These guys aren't going away. They are not slow by any means, the Kiwis.
I kind of admire the New Zealanders' aggression at the start. They're just too close to the line to get it done. They opened it up for Oracle. Huge mistake. They got a little more room next time. They'll be better off.
Both boats traveling at nearly 40 knots. That's 46 miles an hour, heading downwind on leg 4. It'll be a big right-hander and to the finish line.
Chance of that dummy move here, Dino.
Want to always keep the leverage this way. Yeah, copy that.
You heard Ray Davies say, chance of that dummy move. That means they might try a fake jibe here, try to shake these guys, just get them going in the other direction. They need anything. They need any sort of split right now. You're not going to pass them just by following them.
Ken, how often do you see fake jibes work?
How often do you see fake jibes in a catamaran going 38 knots work?
We're inside the runway now anyway. 3, 2, 1, driving.
Go towards him in.
Good pressure on our bow, guys.
Here, mate.
No fake. They stay outside of that current line. I'm sure they're not really worried about the current line going downwind. But for sure, Oracle does, Gary, they do exactly the right move here. They just stay right in sequence. Why take a chance at this stage?
Right out of the book. Stay between your competition and next mark. Nice work.
Shannon Falcone there on the right of your screen.
Yeah, we can't get to A-line. Okay, building pressure slowly. And go wing. Keep coming.
Kiwis don't go away though, Todd. If you look at that, that just glued to him. You know, it's so easy to talk about these starts like, I know, let's just win a start. I don't think you could create a boat that's harder to figure out how to start than these boats. Foiling, not foiling, wings, tiny little jibs, accelerate, decelerate. It's about as tough as it gets. So, you know, I feel for Dean Barker in this situation right now, believe me.
Pressure's good here.
As we look at these boats going downwind here, one of the questions for Emirates Team New Zealand, do they play their card? They have the ability to not race the second race. Here's what I think. They are so close in speed here, they should race. The conditions are perfect for New Zealand today. Just get a good start and they can win it this afternoon. It's all on Dean Barker's shoulders.
Gary Jobson referring to the fact that Emirates Team New Zealand has their provisional card or their postponement card. They can play that in the second race for any reason. They just play it to the official and say, we don't want to race today, we're done. No. The Americans have already used theirs, and that's really what's turned around this regatta for them. When they were thoroughly getting beat by Emirates, Jimmy just said, they've got a lead on us, we got to do something. They went back, regrouped, and the comeback began.
Comeback began. They actually lost the next two races, but for sure they sped the boat up that one day, and then rest is history.
At mark number 4, it's Oracle Team USA with just one leg to go, and they will pick up their 7th point, bringing them to within 1 of Emirates Team New Zealand. And this view has got to be getting old for Dean Barker and his crew, coming around mark 4 and seeing the Americans 300 meters in front.
It stays at 300 meters. I know I'm beating this point, but the Kiwis are not slow. It's just a matter of, these boats are so even. Whenever you get even boats like this, the start takes on that much more significance.
Well, unless you're a Kiwi fan, that is a beautiful sight. Up on their foils, traveling in excess of 39 knots, heading into the finish line, and another victory. Day 15, race 17 will go the way of Oracle Team USA, which means we will see an 18th race here in San Francisco.
Big sting in 5. Big sting on it.
And as they cross the line, the Americans are within 1 point of the Kiwis.
You have got to be kidding me. The drama continues, folks.
Oh, nice hole fly.
And the final delta for Emirates Team New Zealand at the line will be 27 seconds in second place.
And the screws get tightened a little harder. You gotta believe the pressure. I mean, it's only human. The pressure is mounting by the minute. Now 6.5 days since they've won a race.